Losing the Mamluk government. I mean, the Mamluk government is just
hello?
so ridiculous. Hello.
Yeah, boo boo.
Yeah, I was just looking at that.
Yo, I didn't think I lost it there. I could have sworn I didn't, but obviously I do.
Yeah, you did. You're an Ictor now.
Yeah, I thought I didn't lose it though. I could have sworn that I saw someone else do it in another MP and they didn't lose it.
Apparently it's a recent change, and it's a very controversial recent change.
Oh, is it? Oh. Yeah, because it's weird, because when you hover over Egypt, it says abolish Mamluk government type.
Right.
But when you hover over Arabia, it doesn't say anything.
Ah.
Oh, yeah.
Bugger.
Bit of a shame.
Well, you kept the Mamluk ideas at least, so you didn't lose those. But yeah, losing the government is a real sod, because the Mamluk government is probably the best government in the game.
The only the good side is that now I can be the Ictor, which is okay. I can use that special button to get 15% tax efficiency, so my tax is quite good, but it's not as good as Mamluks.
Yeah, don't the Mamluks have that as well?
Not in the Ictor. They have a different one which is better, where they can just get like a flat sum of money or a flat sum of manpower.
That's what it is, yeah.
And then, but this one's just 15% trade, no tax efficiency.
So Yaka in chat's just made a very good point. You now look like the Ottoman's ugly brother.
I think it's quite a nice colour. It's not as nice as the Mamluk one though.
No, I much prefer the Mamluks in basically every way.
The only one good thing.
A terrible choice.
The only good thing is now I'm an empire. It's the only right.
Oh, couldn't you be an empire as the Mamluks?
I could, but I'd have to get 1,000 dev. And I don't think I'd get 1,000 dev in like this area.
How much do you have? You have a 789 already. It's doable.
I have nowhere really to expand there now.
No, but you said you were going to build tall, and that's still development.
Yeah, and we're still going to play tall.
And with the Mamluks, you would have had a lot more monarch points.
Exactly. It is a shame. I didn't actually know that, so...
Live and learn.
Exactly. Next time I won't do it again. Feels bad, man. Okay, see ya later.
See ya. Yeah, the Mamluk income is still bonkers. I mean, sorry. The Arabian income is still bonkers, but this would be even higher, because we wouldn't be paying his advisors as much. What up?
So look at Sevilla right now.
I'm just going to say this is Denmark, because chat's been saying, who are these people? Denmark. Hi, Val.
Look at Sevilla right now. Hi. The trade node.
Oh. Yeah. 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 So you know what you should do now is you should ransom them.
Uh-huh.
Because that's what it was actually really clever. One of the dev clashes I was watching where Johan was playing as England, he would have a privateering fleet and he would just go around from node to node, just basically holding them to ransom, saying, I will come in here and I'll wipe out your income unless you pay me a certain amount.
Okay, yeah. I'll work something out with.
It's too bad Andalusia is not here as well, because then you could basically hold both of them to ransom. But Portugal...
Oh, Andalusia is my ally. I would not be doing this if they were here.
Fair enough. But yeah, Portugal, crushed. Portugal usually has about 70% of that trade node.
Yep. They had like 98% or something before this.
I mean, if Andalusia was here, I'm sure Andalusia would be collecting more. But yeah, I did see that you were privateering Novgorod earlier.
Yeah, that was just way more profitable than it should have.
Really?
Yeah, that was making me a lot of money.
I always find privateering to be really underwhelming unless you're doing it in the Caribbean and getting the trade fleets.
Nope, I was making 10 ducats a month off of Novgorod.
Huh.
For some reason.
Wonder why.
I have no idea.
The other thing you should be aware of is when you're privateering, you're not getting naval tradition, which you would be from protecting trade. Which is something I think they really should add. Probably even more, but yeah, just an FYI.
Alright, see ya.
But yeah, nice one, Val. That is funny.
Yeah.
Alright, so some of the players are learning sneaky naval tactics, which is great. I am so happy to see that. 1569, the new age of Vikings. I mean, to be fair, in Crusader Kings 2, one of the best places to go on Viking raids is Portugal. So he's just continuing that. 600 years later. And he is currently in the chat with Blue Kiwi. So yeah, I think he is talking to them about a ransom. What have I done? I'm quite pleased with that. Anything where I can like improve the strength of navies and the importance of navies in this game, so I'm happy to do. Because they are so often underestimated. Okay, so we have got Austria going after Naples, which is a war I've been expecting for a while. And I'm a little bit surprised it's taken them this long to do. But it's Naples versus Austria. Sorry, Austria versus Naples and Genoa. Genoa is just Corsica at this point. So I don't see there being much problem against them. Playing as the King of Denmark right now, been hitting England hard. I should definitely check out Portugal then. Yeah, Portugal, it's just so wealthy. Like, England suffers in TK2 because it gets raided so much. But the AI Viking raiders don't often reach Portugal and Spain. Like, I find Galicia tends to be really wealthy. Lisbon and the provinces in here tend to be really wealthy. And then once you get over here to, like, Valencia and Barcelona. Who is the biggest army? That is a very good question. The largest army at this moment is Arabia, followed by the Commonwealth. And then there's a big jump, or a big fall, between Austria and then Portugal, who've got no manpower. Why is that? They must be just building their army up or something. And then Muscovy are still 5th. Like, Muscovy's army size is not to be sniffed at, but Commonwealth is double that. And Arabia has a history of just having really big armies. Like, Calico likes his force limit. Although, have you gone quantity? No, you've gone quality. So Arabia is just very strong. Like, I think Arabia is probably going to be underestimated. People know it's wealthy, but I don't think they realize just quite how big they are. So what has Portugal been doing? How have you got no manpower? Looming disaster, so you're going to get religious turmoil soon. You're currently fighting against Kandy. Oh, Indian rebels. Yeah, that would do it. That would definitely do it. Indian rebels do tend to spawn in the tens of thousands. Are we due another Commonwealth-Muscovy war soon? Probably. Truce between them, 72. 2 more years. So Muscovy needs to be getting themselves ready. Muscovy has no allies. Muscovy needs to start talking to other players. Like maybe Denmark, for example. Denmark could be a real thorn in Commonwealth's side. Because most of it is just in perfect... Well, no, not anymore. They can get through Norway. But Val's the kind of player who would understand the importance of attrition. So Val really ought to stick a fort right here. And then probably another one. In fact... Yeah, there is one. Trondelag. Could do with upgrading it. And then he's got one in Lübeck, I know. Which does tend to be fairly high level. But I do think that forts are being a little bit underutilized at the moment. But I get it. They are expensive. So unless you're like actively thinking, I need to build up my forts, there's very often better things to build. So we can see around the world the fort situation. So France is pretty well guarded. Burgundy is very well guarded. Britain not very much as expected. Austria, as we saw earlier, is being really good with fort construction. So Austria, even though their armies might not necessarily be the largest, despite the fact that they have quantity, they are massively entrenched. Can Denmark afford more forts? I would think so. Denmark's actually relatively wealthy. Plus, as we've seen, he is holding players to ransom. Yeah, he can definitely afford more forts. And Denmark now pretty much controls the Lübeck trade node. Actually, it has less of it than I thought. A lot of competition from Holland. Are those two friendly? I have a feeling they're actually rivals. Denmark's rivals to Prussia and Ireland, and is allied with Holland. Yeah, I wonder how Denmark feels about losing so much money to Holland. I think that's one of the areas where I'd be having words. But then having Holland as a counter to, say, Prussia, probably a good thing. And a counter to Ireland, certainly. Now, here's a question. Ireland, how's your navy looking nowadays? 1 heavy, 7 lights, and 3 cogs. Considering you are basically playing as England, you need more ships. You desperately need more ships. You're at half your force limit. Although Ireland is hemorrhaging cash, that's probably why. Oh, that's because you're rooting out corruption. In fact, even if you weren't rooting out corruption, you wouldn't have the money for it. Ireland needs to go after this part of England pronto and take it. England's only allied with Cornwall. I am astonished that they're still alive. Because they are not protected. They are fair game. Let's actually take a look at your rivals. Muscovy, Ireland, Prussia. Ireland's are Denmark and Mali. Prussia's are Holland, Denmark, and Holland and Denmark. Commonwealth, Ottomans, and Andalusia. Andalusia, again, could do damage with this. This was a great purchase. Muscovy may not actually be able to have any. Oh no, Denmark and Austria. Ottomans, Austria, Commonwealth, Timurids, Arabia. Timurids. Arabia needs more. I'll have a word with him. Andalusia at the moment, bearing in mind he's not actually here. Austria and Portugal. Mali. Ireland and Holland. I'm not surprised by those choices. Ireland. Holland. Mali definitely wants his revenge at some point. Congo. Only Mali. Oh, you could rival Portugal and you have to. Timurids. Did we see what yours were? Ottomans and Arabia. Vijayanagara. Timurids and Ming. And you can't do any others. Brunei. Divia and Ethiopia. That's true. Who's Ethiopia's rivals? Brunei and Mali. Oh, your rival's Mali. Interesting. So we do have a bit of an African rivalry going on here. In a EU4 community NPM, and they made a rule that says you always have to fill out your rival slots. Well, our rule is you have to rival 2 players. So the fact that Arabia hasn't is naughty, and I think I'm going to have a word with him right now. Because everybody else is. There he is. Ah, come on, drag. Hello.
Hey.
So just FYI, you've only got 1 player rival, you need to have 2.
Oh, that is a good point.
Just thought I'd let you know because I know you switched country, so there you go.
Yes, I will do that. Can I, when I kill QQ, they'll probably not be my rival anymore, so I can get a new one then. Is that okay? I'm going to attack them in like 2 months. So.
Yeah, fine.
Just
make
should
sure
have
you
clipped
get
them.
one. That's all.
Yeah. I should have clipped them, so I should be get a new one. Okay,
Cool.
sorry.
Mhm.
Just to let me know.
So I think that was... Oh no, Japan. Japan I kind of suspect won't have any eligible ones. Maybe Brunei? Yeah, Korea's their only eligible. I'm not surprised by that, and Diviet's not here today. Satmi has returned, has it? Oh, it has! Right, because the Muscovite rebels. Ha! Let's see how long they survive this time. I suspect not very long. I think Ireland is scared of Danish retribution if he killed England. I don't know. Denmark is going after them again. Okay. So yeah, they must have come up with an agreement on how to split up the UK. So what is Ireland doing? What's Ireland's game plan? Just colonial? Cuba's formed. CPM taking advantage of the Bank of the Americas. Reasonable. going after Lenap, so yeah, fighting natives. Sapmi being annexed should be a war crime. Also, CPM, you shouldn't be listening. Turn it off. What else is going on? Kind of quiet. Despite there being loads of player wars, this is still just, again, consolidation phase. But towards the end of it, like, a lot of the AI players are now dead. Oops, didn't mean to open that one. Sort out my windows again. Every time I go to Discord, I'm like, okay, I have to sort everything out again. Vijay is killing Orissa. So they are. That's a pretty big deal, because that is going to give Vijayanagara access to the Bengali trade node, which is very wealthy. It's currently worth 7 ducats and is losing 14. So that's 21 ducats that Coromandel could have added to it. Although, as we've seen, they don't seem to care very much about trade. They accept the subsidies instead. I wonder if they're still getting 30, because they're now losing 18. Arabia, income, diplomatic expenditures. They're sending 20 to the Ottomans. They've reduced the amount to them. And Vijay is still getting 28, so close enough to 30. And Arabia is going after QQ, as they said they were going to do. Meanwhile, Austria still nibbling on Naples. We'll have to see what kind of peace deal they get. 76% complete. Genoa still holding on to Corsica. I doubt that Austria has the means to go after that. Although once Austria has taken over Naples, I suspect we might see the formation of the Austrian Navy. Maybe. Possibly. Commonwealth staying fairly quiet at the moment. It's 1572 and there are troops at full morale on the Muscovite border, fully drilled. Well, near enough. And there we go. Naples has lost their territory. Took most of the Tuscan territory. This is very, very wealthy land. And that is a good expansion for Austria. And I'm kind of curious to see who the biggest powers are now. So Timmy is first. Timur has actually had more development than Commonwealth. That I had not expected. Then we have the Commonwealth. Then we have Arabia in 3rd place. Ottomans in 4th. And then France coming in 5th. And then Austria in 6th. So Austria are slightly smaller than France. And they're not that far ahead of Andalusia. Then there's a big gap between Andalusia and Portugal. So all of the top powers... Wait, where's Ming? Oh, because they haven't met Ming, that's probably not showing. So let's go back into Observer and then see this again. There we go. So yeah, Ming is still in 1st place. Vijay is actually larger than France. They're very close to Ottomans in terms of power. So the triumvirate of Ottomans, Arabia and Vijayanagara, I think, could be a relatively effective block to the Ottomans, because they would have basically, sorry, the Commonwealth. They would have almost triple the development between them. Which institution comes next? That would be global trade. And global trade is when we're going to start seeing the rest of the world start to bloom. So they've survived this long. The early game is rough for Africa, India, and Asia, and the Americas. But post 1550... Sorry, 1600's global trade, isn't it? Let's just select somebody and we can see that for sure. 1550 was printing press. 1600 is global trade. So post 1600 is when the rest of the world can really start to bloom. Because Renaissance is hard to spread, printing press is hard to spread, global trade, manufactories, and enlightenment are very easy to spread. So even though these guys might lag behind in terms of Renaissance and printing press, they will do well in global trade. And in fact, I would not be at all surprised if India embraces global trade before much of Europe, because of the sheer number of centers of trade. Every center of trade spreads trade, global trade, and there are a lot of centers of trade down here. And they're all level 2s. Level 2s spread it pretty quickly. Level 3s spread it the fastest, but level 2s are not bad. Alright, so let's do our check of centres of trade upgrades. So Portugal has upgraded them, so Portugal will get it pretty quick. Aragon still hasn't, but Aragon's not here today, so I'm not surprised. Austria has upgraded a little bit. Austria's now got access to Genoa, that's true. So I wonder if Austria is planning to do a trade game, because, well, not a trade game, but certainly relying a little bit more heavily on trade. Thank you very much for the follow, Nigel Farage. Welcome to the channel. So Denmark hasn't. I can't. Why Denmark? Why? Upgrade your centres of trade, damn it. Holland also hasn't. France also hasn't. Ireland also hasn't. Commonwealth has done a few, but I would say that the Commonwealth's most important node is probably going to be the Baltics, and they haven't really focused on that. There is a lot of money in Novgorod. Where is that all coming from? Kiev. Who's doing that? Oh, bloody hell, Val. Commonwealth is... That's upstream. Sweden's trying to drag some money into there.